All right, thank you very much for joining us today on this Friday afternoon to learn more about Handshake. Handshake is truly an incredible tool that can make your life much easier. It is our recruitment tool as well as our career education tool. And I just wanted to share some tips and tricks so that you're getting the most out of Handshake. So the first question we're going to answer is, why do I need a complete profile? Handshake is an incredibly smart tool as well. So you can follow along with me as I'm going through this particular area. But if you click on your picture on the right-hand side, you'll see my profile. So mine is 100% complete. If yours is not 100% complete, then it'll have some areas underneath here that you can possibly add on. So it could be projects or organizations. This information on the left-hand side is information that we get from the registrar's office. So it gives us your graduation month and year, your GPA, your class year, as well as your major. So again, this is information that's already provided. Your journey is essentially a little bit of a summary section about you. And this is similar to what's on your your LinkedIn profile as well. Then you have your work experience and also your organizations and extracurriculars. But the true reason why you need to have a complete Handshake profile is because employers can use your Handshake profile to look for individuals just like you. They can do keyword searches and skill searches to find students who are matching their particular roles. So when you get messages from recruiters, please try not to ignore those because they have actually found your Handshake profile and are reaching out to you about a particular opportunity. So it's imperative that your Handshake profile is complete. Let's go back to the main page of Handshake. Also, depending on how robust you've made your Handshake profile, you'll notice that there's jobs you saved, and also based on job roles you're interested in, it'll give you some other areas. So this is very similar to Netflix, where if you watch one show, it'll tell you, here are X, Y, and Z shows that you should watch. Same thing with Handshake. It uses very advanced algorithms to match positions based on your interests. And then if you even go down further, it'll show you by your major, here are particular roles that are very popular on this platform. And this takes it across, there's over 700 schools that are using Handshake. So this also uses that information as well. Some students will say, when I'm looking for opportunities, should Handshake be my first avenue? Absolutely. And the reason that Handshake should be your first avenue is that when a company posts on Handshake, they are posting to Lehigh students. So companies have to identify their target schools when they're posting a position. So again, these companies are particularly looking for Lehigh students. Also, these positions are going to be of the caliber for our students. So you're not going to find positions that are more summer type jobs where it's just to put some money in your pocket, like a waiter or waitress or a camp counselor. Those are excellent positions, but they're not going to be the ones that you find on Handshake. So that leads me to my second question that we're going to answer today. And it's, how do I filter jobs that are for me? So if you go into the jobs area, and again, you can follow along on your screen, you will see that there are over 6,200 jobs on Handshake today. You do not have the time or the energy or the need to go through over 6,200 positions. Majority of them, truthfully, will not be for you. So it's a complete waste of time. So the way that you can start your search and even create a search alert is by going through and utilizing these filters. So again, if you want, follow along with me. Let's choose location. I'm going to choose Philadelphia and also New York City. And I'm okay with the 50-mile distance around those two cities. I'm going to look for an internship. And then I'm going to utilize all filters. So for this summer, because I'm looking for this upcoming summer and I'm a junior, I'm going to look for a full-time internship. And I definitely need to make some money this summer, so I'm going to go for paid roles only. Then there's this area, employer preferences. This is an incredible resource for you. If you click on Match All Employer Preferences, it takes into account your major, your school year, your graduation date, your work authorization, and your GPA. So it automatically finds the positions that are looking for you. So now those 6,200 positions got narrowed down to 112. The work authorization, if you are a US citizen, you do not need to worry about this part of it. If you are an international student, you'll have to look at if it accepts OPT or CPT. And if you're not sure of the answers to these, please stop into our career lab or also connect with the OISS office. The next section is industry. So industry is what the company does. Job function is what you do in the company. Most students have a better idea of what they would like to do in the company as compared to the actual goal of the company itself. So most times I will skip over industry and go right to job function. You can also set different alerts where you can use industry first and just do industry. And then you can also do job function and just do job function. So I am a marketing student, and I'm going to just go through some of these areas. I'm going to choose business development. Let's pick some other ones. How about advertising, media, and PR? And you can choose multiple areas for your job functions. Let's see. I also like marketing general. So that brings me to 45 different positions. And you can play around with this different times to see what type of roles are coming up. But I'm very happy with 45 positions to apply to today. So now, instead of starting to scroll through the positions, take a beat. Let's go to relevance. Now, right now, all of these positions are relevant for me because they're looking for my particular school year, my major, my graduation date, and my GPA. Also, I chose the different job functions, so these are all relevant. So what's more important is choosing application deadline. I really don't want you to miss an opportunity because it expired. So by simply changing this filter, now you see the ones that are going to expire most recent. It also says, don't miss out. New jobs are getting added all the time. Save your search. Save your search. And you'll see the green box that pops up says you created a job alert. That means that every time a new position matches this search, you will get an email about it sent to your Lehigh email. I understand completely that you get many emails each day and each week, but please do not ignore ones from Handshake because they could be a new position. They could be scheduling an interview, or it could be a recruiter who wants to touch and connect with you. So please try not to ignore those particular emails. Which also leads me to my next question. How do I interact with employers? It's very important for you to have an understanding of companies that you want to work for and types of jobs you'd like to have. But how do you do that? How do you build these relationships and find out about particular companies? There's several ways, and I'd like to show you the events tab in Handshake. Each week, there are many, many, many companies hosting information sessions. And there are even more information sessions now because companies are virtual. So they do not have to plan the whole day of traveling to talk with one particular school. They can actually have events from multiple schools and more times. So if there are companies that you are targeting, you can search in the search bar for those particular companies. In these information sessions, it gives you an opportunity to ask what it would really be like to be an intern or a full-time position at that company. What are their top skills? What are the different locations that they offer opportunities in? You want to make sure that you do have some questions ready during these information sessions so that the recruiters and the employers know that you were truly present during these information sessions. They want to make sure that you are paying attention and that it was valuable time for you and for them. Another area to connect with and interact with employers is back in the jobs area. There's jobs, save jobs, applications, and then employers. You can start following employers on Handshake. So you can again choose a location. So if I were to choose Philadelphia, I can look at employers with reviews. So this would include students and alums all across the campuses and universities that use Handshake. You can also look at employer size. If there's a particular industry that you want to work in, I really like healthcare. Let's choose the healthcare industry. Then you can also add different labels for them. You can choose to follow these companies. And then once positions are posted or they make more if they make more information on Handshake, then you'll be notified. Again, this would be an email or in a message on Handshake. So this is just another great way to ensure that you know about these particular companies. It gives you a great description of them. You can look at the reviews on particular positions. And that helps you to make better decisions going forward in your career development. So there are multiple ways to connect with employers and recruiters. Handshake, again, as I had mentioned, is our hub for career education. So the next question I want to answer today is, where is information about career topics? You know, you might have to have a resume and you're not sure where to even get started. If you go to the top right-hand corner to Career Center, and then scroll down a bit, here is where you would make appointments with your career coach. And then there's also resources. This is our resource library, which is constantly being added to ensure that we are giving our Lehigh University students the most up-to-date, detailed, and inclusive information as possible. So you will see that there are tiles ranging from all the way to exploring careers to job and salary negotiations and everything in between. These resources are Lehigh specific, so these are made specifically for you and to help you in your career journey. You can look at remote internships. Many students have been thinking about how they're going to utilize this upcoming winter break. Since you have an extra week, it takes you into micro internships that are paid and they are only 10 to 40 hours per project. If you're thinking about developing skills over winter break in the COVID-19 resources, here is some particular job and internship search advice. And then also how to build skills over winter break as well. So we have provided all of this information to get you started. From what I understand, college students do not quite sleep on the same schedule as me. So you might be thinking about your career at 1 a.m. and unfortunately we are not accessible 24/7, but this information is. So that way, if you're thinking about your career at 1 or 2 a.m. and you want to take a look at some of these tiles, they're here for you to get you started. There's even a resume tile. And most of these tiles will have a guide that is definitely worth reading They're pretty short. It might take you 5 to 10 minutes, but they're very inclusive of all of the information that you should know. And then we give you related articles to it as well. So a question that we get often is, how many positions should I apply for? And going back to the jobs section, there is no magic answer for this particular question. So the fifth question, again, it's how many positions should I apply for? And you want to make sure that you are casting a wide net and applying to positions that are related to what you'd like to do. It is not uncommon for students to apply to upwards of 50 to 100 internships or jobs. It's not uncommon at all. When students say that they've applied to a handful, then that's some actions that need to be increased. So again, 50 to 100 positions is extremely helpful because then you have more opportunities, especially in the time of COVID. There are plenty of opportunities out there, but it's still competitive. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself the best chance. Applying to positions and also networking go hand in hand. So while you are applying to these positions with a great resume and cover letter, you want to make sure that you're also gathering more information about the particular company or the particular roles. And how you do that is by going to Career Center, Resources, and scrolling down to Networking. If networking is a word that scares you, or makes you feel uncomfortable, I understand. There's a great video to watch. It's about 6 minutes long, which I think will really put you at ease for networking. And then again, a networking guide to help you through. Networking is not who knows you. I'm sorry, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. So by attending those information sessions, customizing your filters, and also making yourself, putting yourself out there with the employers, then they know who you are before your resume even comes across their desk. So you want to make sure that you are giving yourself the best opportunity. In the networking and mentor websites, we have Lehigh Connects, which is specific to, again, Lehigh University students, and it's Lehigh alums who have signed up to be mentors. Then we have LinkedIn, which links to our alums from here as well. So it's important to ask alums questions such as, I'm looking at a particular role that's very similar to yours. Can you tell me what type of skills are the most important? Or I was selected for an internship for this particular summer, and I'd like to know, can you identify any software skills that I could build over winter break? If you're in the process of exploring, it's saying, maybe you're a CSB major. How did you decide if you wanted to go more into the business area or the technical side? How did you make these decisions? What I would prefer is if you used these boldly networking and networking steps you can start today, as well as the guide above, copy some of those messages that are in there, because I don't want you to get too stuck on what to say to the alums in your message. You just want to create a nice warm welcome and be specific of why you're reaching out to them. That way they know what to expect when they connect. I want you to spend the time making those connections. And as I had talked about with jobs and internship searches, applying is just as important as reaching out to alums and networking. Sometimes it's really that networking piece that makes or breaks getting a position, because if you're networking with a company, then they know who you are when your resume comes across their desk. So it is incredibly vital. I understand, and our whole career education team understands, that the career development journey can be overwhelming and it can be stressful, but there's no reason for it to be, because you have a team right behind you, ready to help you and walk you through all of this journey. We have availability through appointments and then also Career Lab, Monday through Friday, drop-in times from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. And you can find the Zoom links in the events in Handshake. But if you have any questions, our team is ready, willing, and can't wait to help you through all of this and to be with you on your career development journey, because it's an incredible opportunity to find a career that makes you excited and energized to get up in the morning. And you know that you put in the work to get there. So I just want to thank you for your time. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to pause recording.